Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure,
where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
You can also follow our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chelse Gen Excellent Adventure, or just type in the name of this podcast. If you have any questions or subjects you want us to address, go ahead and send them to us through our Instagram page.
Yes. In this episode, we discuss trying out the national park we kept hearing about for outdoor activities, Nick's quest for decent insurance, and Zootopia 2, plus a couple other things that are not worth listing in this little intro. But first, go Hawks!
Yeah, so we are recording this on Monday evening UAE time, which means that it's been, 12 hours since the Seattle Seahawks won the NFC Championship game against the Los Angeles Rams and are going to the Super Bowl.
Woohoo!
And, of course, we are from Seattle, so this is our hometown team.
Yes, and it's very exciting. When was the last time they were at the Super Bowl, babe?
Their last Super Bowl was the 2014 season, so It would have been 2015 when the actual Super Bowl was, so 11 years ago.
Yeah, and so it's a really big deal. They're also playing the Patriots,
which is the team they played the last time they were in the Super Bowl.
I did not remember that.
And that one had a quite memorable or infamous moment for Seattle fans when they were at the goal line ready to score the game-winning touchdown with about 30 seconds left. And they didn't hand it off to Marshawn Lynch, and they ended up throwing an interception in the end zone.
Oh, man. Rough.
So we're hoping that there's a little different outcome at the end of the Super Bowl this time around when these teams play.
Well, it's a totally different team now, so let's assume. And so are the Patriots. They're a totally different team now.
Yep. Yeah. No coaches, no star players from those teams in 11 years ago, which in the NFL, you shouldn't have any players still around 11 years later, unless it's your kicker.
Yeah. So we've gone to a Super Bowl party every single year for years and years that our friends have thrown, and I rarely watch the game, but I do like to watch the game when the Seahawks are playing. So we'll see. This year, we of course can't go to that party, and the game is on what time?
Well, it's usually 3:30 Pacific time, which means that it would be at 3:30 a.m. Dubai time.
Yeah.
So probably not going to be getting up to watch that. It's the same time that the NFC Championship game was. So I was up at 6 o'clock for getting tea ready for school this morning.
Today. Yeah.
And so I was following along on my phone, getting updates here and there while trying to get our kid breakfast and dressed and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure I was probably a little too much on the phone in front of the kid this morning.
Well, it's okay. It's like a once in a while thing just for this special occasion. It was a big deal. The game was a big deal. And my phone was blowing up with my family chat, talking about the win and just talking about the game in general as it went on. How was yours? Were your parents texting you? Anybody else?
No, they weren't, because I think they would have been not wanting to spoil anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
On the other hand, I did get a text from a friend of ours here in Dubai who's from Boston, congratulating me for the Seahawks making the Super Bowl and preparing for the Boston-Seattle rivalry to be to come to the Super Bowl once again.
You should ask him if he watches it.
Yeah, I should.
Because how are they doing that? They do have it at sports bars here, and I think even in the middle of the night they're open for this. So if you really want to, I can stay home with tea, and you can go watch the game. Don't worry, I will handle it. No worries.
Oh man, I don't know. That's some serious early morning right there.
I'm just saying you can. Okay, so anyway, go Hawks. We're pretty excited, proud of our hometown team. As we know, I'm not a huge sports fan, but of course I'm excited for our hometown team. It's huge.
Yeah, in 2 weeks we'll see if they can get that second Super Bowl win in franchise history.
And also, I will say one thing. I might not be a sports fan, but I can easily get taken in by the excitement of a big win and watching the community rally. Everybody comes out. It's super fun. There's a parade, I've lived in Boston during these times, and I've lived in Seattle during these times, and it is very exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm more likely to watch a game. Mm-hmm. You're more likely to attend the parade.
Yeah, that's so accurate. That's really funny. Okay, so moving on, we are going to talk about Mushrif somebody said today, National Park.
So yeah, this is a park that's quite a ways from us in terms of, within the city limits here in Dubai. It's a good 40-minute drive, and it's up by the airport.
In an area called Mirdif, Mirdif.
And you had heard about this place basically in the context of other families having gone there to ride bicycles, correct?
Yes. And I've talked to one friend about it who had just gone like last weekend or 2 weekends ago or something, and they really loved it. And and our kids are the same age, or our boys are the same age. And she said she wasn't a confident bicyclist. And I was like, I'm not a confident bicyclist. So tell me more. Anyway, so she had told me about this kid's circuit, and she might have done the bigger one that were for multiple ages. I couldn't really tell. Once we got there, I was like, oh, there's another one too. But anyway, she told me about that. And then I'd also done research on places to go biking, and this popped up.
Because, we want to get T out on his bike as much as we can while the weather allows it.
Yes,
and
exactly.
We have our local pond park, which is a great option.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. But, it's just one place.
And it's one loop.
And he's on his own there. He's the only one of us, because we don't have bikes here.
That's
right. He has his bike, but we do not have bikes.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anywhere to rent bikes at the pond park.
So whenever he's riding there, he's kind of riding off on his own, and we're hoping that he stops and comes back before we can't see him again.
He usually does. But yeah, so it's not like as fun for us. Like, I love going to the pond park, and I don't mind jogging behind him or whatever, but if we could bike with him somewhere, that's ideal. So that was kind of the goal. We would go to this park, and they have places to rent bikes, and like multiple places, it turns out. So we just found a place, and we rented our bikes. We got new helmets. You might have seen us in our snazzy helmets. I put a photo up like a week ago or a couple weeks ago, and we brought T's bike, and we just did the loop.
Well, the first thing is that when we got there, I was not aware just how large this particular park is. We go and we drive up to the entrance, and suddenly you're in a place where your car can go anywhere.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you're, left, right, straight, and all over the place. It took us, I think we took the right direction, and we were 5 minutes in the car to get to where kind of the central spot for the stop of the inner loop that is all paved. Yeah,
the idea of a national park, I think we know from home that a national park is usually big, and this is fairly big. So it made sense to me. The person who we paid at the beginning of the park, at the entrance for parking, it's 10 dirhams, so not that much. He told us what turns to take, and he was right. So that's how we managed to get our way there. But I think once you realize it's one big loop, there's a couple different ways you can get onto the main loop, then you can't get too lost.
Mm-hmm. But it is. This is a big thing. And then as we're driving to where we're going to go rent our bicycles from, we're driving past things. I thought this was mostly a bike park. But we are driving past all sorts of stuff. There's people, and we're there at like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
There are people like unpacking their vehicles with their picnic stuff and their barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
There is a big zip line park.
Oh, that place looked amazing. Aventura.
That is a part of the park that we drove past.
Yeah. We rode past it and drove past it a few times. And that zip line, it wasn't just zip line. It was like a big, what's it called? Ropes course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really cool. You could see people on it, and you were like, oh, wow. And it was in the woods. It looked really neat.
And there's play areas all over the place. There was an amusement park,
like a mini one.
Yeah, a small one, but a small amusement park in the park. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to do there.
You think there's like an amphitheater? Maybe. And then there's like a bunch of cafes too, spread out throughout the park, and lots of restrooms. So I complained about how we don't have a lot of restrooms at parks, but this one had plenty of them.
And they're numbered, which was nice. It kind of gave you an idea of where you were from a geographic standpoint.
Yeah.
What number restroom is the one that we just drove past?
Right. So anyway, we got to the bike rental place. We rented our bikes. The bike lanes are supposed to only be in one direction. Now, there were people going the other direction, but in general, we didn't see, not that many people passed us, but lots of people were renting bikes. So I think people just were at different speeds.
Yeah. So this is for the bike rental place is right on the paved path.
Yeah.
That goes basically kind of around
it's called the inner loop
of the park.
It's a 5K loop, and I think there's an outer loop that's also paved, I believe, and that's 17K.
I don't know if that is paved.
I don't know either.
I saw the, well, anyway, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
That's something we didn't explore at all, but this inner loop one, it was really nice. We were there on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And
weather was amazing.
Yeah, it was like sunny and 70.
Yeah, it was perfect.
We were there before the heat of the day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't super crowded.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we didn't. Well, let's take stock of where each of us is as a bike rider.
Well, let's see. 15 years ago, I rode a bike. And at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't biked in so long. And it wasn't a very comfortable experience. Like, I did it for something I was chaperoning, a field trip or something. And then before that, I hadn't done it since college. So a long time. And I'd done it like one time in my 20s in Maine. And and again in like on Martha's Vineyard, I think. None of these were comfortable experiences. I am not a great cyclist. I did ride my bike a lot in high school. Actually, I rode it to work when I worked in high school. But this is not, it's, when people say it's just like riding a bike, I laugh. That's hilarious. You're not giving me any confidence with that statement. But anyway, I can ride a bike, and I need a space where there's no cars. And this provided that. Okay. And it also wasn't a crowded trail.
Yes. Yeah. And then I didn't learn to ride a bike as a kid very much. I did have a bike, and I was able to ride, but I couldn't start or really stop myself because I had no place to practice as a kid.
Right.
We lived on the top of a very steep hill.
Right.
And so there was no place for me to like take my bike out, not to mention, to even practice going, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Let alone, actually riding somewhere from my house.
Right.
So I never had that opportunity to really learn as a kid. I did learn as an adult.
Yeah.
And then I started biking somewhat regularly.
And with your dad, right?
Yeah. Up and down the hills of Seattle.
Amazing.
And
you should feel a lot of confidence about that.
But then when we moved to South Seattle, it just we weren't in the right spot. I don't think for us in particular to really get biking.
I don't think we felt comfortable navigating those roads. The drivers can be crazy in South Seattle. And there are a lot of hills, and there's almost no flat. So that's part of it.
And then the other issues, I've had my low back issues, which have made me reluctant to do things like biking.
Yeah.
And then that and, basically the stuff that's going on and just in my midsection in general had me pretty apprehensive about going out and biking this past Saturday.
Yeah. Nick was like, he was in that kind of grumpy, nervous mood. As was T. He gets like nervous about every new thing. Mm-hmm. So he was showing that too. And I was also nervous, but also excited because I was like, we're finally going to do biking as a family. I'm so excited. And at home, if we had done this, because we've never gone biking as a family, even at home, if we had done this on the Burt Gilman Trail or on a Seward Park day when they shut off the road, it would have been jam-packed with cyclists. Mm-hmm. And this just wasn't, and it felt so much easier to navigate for me. So it was a really good way to help me build my confidence up.
It also was relatively flat. Although I would say there was a little more
incline. Yeah.
Excuse me, than I really had expected.
Yeah.
Knowing that we don't run into any incline here
right.
in Dubai at all.
Not right. Even in Dubai Hills. Where's the incline?
There was towards the end of the loop.
Yeah.
You kind of finished going on an uphill.
A pretty long uphill. I had to get off and walk. I was like, I am not in shape for this.
And we were using these rented bikes that had a different shifting mechanism.
That was part of it. I couldn't figure out.
What I was experienced with. And, I figured it out, but it was not a smooth shifting experience. And so, especially given that I was concerned about, certain body parts being okay. Yeah. I did not want to push myself. So I was desperately trying to gear down anytime we got to a slope. And then whatever it was with that bike, as soon as you got over the slope, it was way under geared.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my goodness, my legs are going 100 miles per hour.
Yep.
And so it was navigating that. It was navigating. I have great appreciation for having my own bike now.
Yeah.
Because, it's just more comfortable when you've got it set up to a way that it really kind of fits you.
Right.
And when you're renting a bike, you're never going to really get something that fits you perfectly.
Right.
Unless you really know what you're doing.
And I haven't had a bike. Well, I did buy a bike in Seattle from somebody who was leaving Seattle that would have fit me perfectly if I were not a nervous biker. As in, if you are a skilled biker and not nervous, you don't mind that your feet can't go flat to the ground or even stable on both feet. And so, even if my toes were from each foot on the ground. But it was one where it was I have to tilt this way to get one foot partly on the ground and the other one doesn't touch at all. I was so uncomfortable with that bike that in the end, I never used it. And this bike that I used was, honestly, I should have been moving the seat up a little bit because it made my knees bend too much, but I was very comfortable stopping. And that was a really, really important thing for me for feeling safe. So we'll keep doing this though, because it's good practice. It's a quieter space to do it. It's not jam packed. And T loved it.
Yeah.
He
really
loved riding as a family.
He was able to stretch his legs out.
Yeah.
When he's awesome. At the pond park without one of us there, I don't think he ever really feels comfortable getting up to speed.
No.
But he was able to put some speed into his riding.
Yeah.
And he was enjoying himself. You and I aren't it's ideally one of us is in front and one of us is behind, and T is in between us, but he's going back and forth between the two parents, checking out where everyone is, making sure we know where he is and he knows where we are.
Yeah.
And for him, I'm sure it was great practice at kind of riding and looking behind him.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just like to say, I used to love bicycling as a kid and even in high school when I rode to work. I loved the feeling. That was back when we didn't wear helmets. Ooh, that's a terrible idea. Always wear a helmet, people. But, the wind in your hair feeling. I loved that feeling. I was getting such a thrill out of that feeling, coasting down the hill. And I was still cautious because, again, nervous biker. But I loved the feeling. I was like, do you get wind in your hair with a helmet? Yeah, you kind of still do. They're airy helmets. So I really, really loved kind of reliving that feeling. I was grinning. You couldn't see me. I was in front for a bit. And I was like, this feels so good. It feels so good.
Yeah. And I was, I enjoyed it as well. I mean, I'm a former athlete.
Yes.
And somebody who was active. And I haven't been able to do that in the same way because of the state of my body, but anytime I am able to get back and do something, in an active way, I always feel good. And then today is 2 days later, which is usually when the muscle tightness would be the worst for me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it is tighter, but I mean, I'm okay. I don't feel like anything got damaged.
Yeah. And you always worry about that for so long. It's like you're sure something bad is going to happen. I'm like, no, maybe it won't. And it didn't. So that's good news. And then the last thing about the park there is the thing I mentioned at the beginning that a friend had told us about was this little mountain biking circuit for young kids. It's called the Young Rangers mountain biking, I don't know, something like that, Young Rangers something. And it's actually just outside of one of the entrances.
Yeah, well, it took us a while to figure that out.
We
looped twice before we realized.
3 times.
Was it 3 times?
3 times.
Before we realized we had to actually exit the park to get to where we're going to.
Yeah, it was so confusing. But once we did it, it was a challenging circuit for a young kid who's never done anything like that.
Well, first of all, that was packed.
It was packed.
Where we were doing the inner loop, we did not feel at all crowded or anything like that. But like the parking lot was fully, we were lucky to get a spot when we got there. There are kids on bikes just zooming everywhere
who've clearly done this a lot. And they have a pump track too right next to it, which is bigger and has even older kids. And adults were doing some of these too, but they're not for adults.
Well, and they also had the start of something called the Red Trail, which is why I think that is off-road, because it said 17 kilometers on that.
Oh, I see.
So, no, they have entrances to all 3 of these tracks right sort of in the same area.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was great. I mean, it was very, very popular.
Yeah.
Now, we went after we did our circuit around the inner loop. So it was more the time of day when people in Dubai are out and about and doing things.
Right.
It's hard to believe we're early people here on the weekends.
It's so funny because we're really not that early.
No, we're not. Well, I mean, we kind of are now because T is a pretty early person.
Yeah.
But you and me, we do not come by early mornings naturally.
No, and we still got out of the house late for what we were thinking we would do, but not late for Dubai.
Yeah. So I think if we had started at that mountain biking trail, I think we would have gotten there with less traffic.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And so basically, it starts with this really steep hill. It's a short little hill.
Yeah, it's just enough of a hill to get you some speed going, so you can go over some hill chicane things right there at the beginning.
Yeah, and then it takes you through like these bumpy areas, and you can choose how much you want to do. The hills you can't avoid, but you can choose, do I want to go over these wooden platform, very steep hill things, or do I want to go over these really bumpy things, or do I want to go up this seesaw that moves with the bike? There's so many options, and you can choose how little or how much you want to do. And so
you can bypass all of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Obstacles.
Except the very beginning. So T at first was like, no, I can't. I don't want to do this. I'm too scared. Okay, no problem. Let's go look at the pump track. And then that was even more scary, legitimately.
And also so many more kids were there.
Yeah.
So it's much more busier, and you don't feel comfortable with a brand new 5-year-old trying to figure all this out when you've got 10, 12-year-olds whizzing by.
We didn't have to say it. He was making the decisions. We're just kind of letting him lead, because generally with T, he has a healthy dose of caution, right? And we say that a lot.
Yeah, he's kind of like, on that, for us, that perfect balance between I want to do things, I want to try things, I want to take chances, but I know where that limit is, and I'm not going to cross that line not because I'm being told it, but because in his mind, he is like, okay, am I ready for this? I'm not quite ready for this.
Yeah, and it's a safety thing. He always knows. So we don't have to be like, no, you can do this. We don't have to do that. We do it if he like leaves a game or something like that. But if he's wanting to try something new, we don't have to push him. We just let him take the lead. And not all kids are the same, but this is our kid. So in this case, he didn't want to do the mountain thing at first, and then he didn't want to do the pump track. Then he wanted to go back to the mountain thing, and he was watching people, who's just observing. He's seeing other kids do it, and as is typical for T, okay, other kids are doing this, I want to try it. But he couldn't do the first hill, the steep one. So he walked down that one, and then he did the next 2 shallower hills, and that was one loop. Then he did the whole loop, and he went up the seesaw.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of things he didn't want to try.
He didn't ride up the seesaw. He walked himself, while he's striding his bike up the seesaw. But he did it.
It's this tall plank of wood, and you get to the top, and then your weight brings it down. And you have to ride off of it. He walked it up, and then he rode off. And we were like, in my head, I was thinking, I didn't talk to you about this. I was thinking, He totally walked up that, got scared and went, there's nowhere else I can go, and just had to go down. But what we watched then is he finished the circuit. It was like this, lots of little options to do circuit, got back to the top or to the beginning. And then he went down the steep hill.
Yeah.
He did it. And so then he did this loop so many times. It wasn't just a loop. It was a circuit. It like wound in and out. And by the end, like he was pedaling a lot more, not just walking his bike. Like he just got more and more confident. So it was really awesome practice for him. I was really proud of him.
And you could tell that he was really enjoying himself and proud for himself too. That he
took
was
a couple snack breaks, went back to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was awesome. And after that, friends of ours who live up in that area, they met us outside the park and walked their dog a little bit, and we all went out to eat. It was great.
Yeah, and I think that there's no question we're going to be going back. This is a place that we're going to take advantage of, especially here during the winter when the weather conditions are ideal for doing these type of things.
Yeah, I mean, we all had a great time. There's no negative to it.
And there's more to the park for us to explore too. I mean, we would come back just for the bicycling, and it'd be great if we could, get one of T's friends to come with us as well.
That'd be really fun.
I'm sure he would love that.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
And but the fact that there's so much more to the park to go ahead and explore and find out about, I think that just makes it even more of a destination here for the next month or two.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we love this place. So Mushrif National Park, if you're in Dubai with kids and you want an outdoor adventure, that's where you're going to go. All right, on to the very exciting topic of insurance.
Yes. So this has been something that has been at least part of the consciousness for me since we got here. I mean, you have your insurance through school.
Yeah.
And T is able to be eligible for that as well.
Yep.
Now, I can go ahead and get on your insurance as well, but that would actually come with a fee.
Right. So my insurance is free for me and T, which is different than at home. So back in Seattle. So that's nice. That is free completely. It's very different than people. We still have a pretty big 20% copay, things like that. So I'll hear people complain about the insurance and I'm like, okay, but if you're coming from the States, this is pretty decent insurance.
Well, that's the thing is you had been told by coworkers that the insurance isn't very good.
Yeah.
And because of that, it was like, okay, well then I'm going to explore something else.
Yeah.
And when we got back from Seattle, I started getting really serious about that, you know, months after I should have.
Yeah.
And so I started doing some research. And one thing that happened is we knew that you had eligibility at both the nearby hospital and at a certain clinic that you had heard was really good.
Yeah.
And I started doing the research on, well, they have this very, very visible insurance market.ae. Commercials everywhere. I mean, you see billboards for this on the radio.
I've seen those.
On the radio, this is the radio commercial.
Yeah.
And what it is it's just a service that kind of gives you quotes. You know, you put in what you want, and they'll give you quotes from a number of different insurance agencies, looking at what your parameters are.
Yeah.
And what I found is that, you know, in order to have access to the nearby hospital and to this particular clinic, I had to kind of go with the highest level insurance that they were offering, because those locations just weren't included on the mid and the low level ones. And so kind of caught the idea that, oh, well, maybe your insurance isn't actually as bad as the reputation, in the sense that, as you said, it's probably not as good as what people are getting in some of these countries where really prioritize taking care of the health needs of their citizens.
Yeah.
It's a little different the way that it works in the U.S.
Yeah, universal health care is not something the U.S. has. So if you come from a lot of European countries, and I think even a lot of South American countries, there is a universal healthcare system, and we've never experienced that.
Yeah.
However, we wish we had.
Yeah. So I think that what we at least think is true, because I mean, it's not like we've had a chance to test it out, is that what you have access to is pretty similar to what a higher level would have been for me to get through the regular market.
Well, and it works in the U.S.
Right.
We got confirmation on that. It works in your home country and here in Dubai.
Which is, we're going to be spending time back in the States. So that's a valuable thing to have. Wouldn't have to worry about, do we need to get travel insurance when we're back visiting the U.S.? So kind of decided, okay, well, we'll see about going through yours. And yours, going through you, is actually quite a bit less expensive, too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yours was, six
something dirhams, for the year.
Dirhams for the year, which equates to what, $1,800 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was getting quoted 10 to 12,000 dirhams. So, it's a 40% more.
Yeah.
And 40 to 50% more. So it just makes sense to go ahead and do that. And it might actually be a simpler process too, going through you. Yeah. We'll find out. We haven't actually.
I submitted the request to add you. Yeah. So yeah. And then on a side note, insurance is important, and the 20% copay is annoying, but not that bad. It's very similar to home again. But I will say one nice thing here is if you need an appointment, you can get one usually on the same day with whatever doctor, maybe not your doctor. I think it depends on what you need or want, but we don't really have our own physicians here or anything like that. But like there were a couple times where an appointment was needed. And it was able to happen right away, like that day. One was like within 3 minutes of arriving at the clinic. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So there's no urgent care or anything like that. So you just see a doctor. And then there are ERs here, but I think an ER would be like truly for an emergency or something. But like, yeah, my experience so far is just, it's fairly easy.
Yeah. So. And the other thing is that we've heard of people who like decided we're here for a year. We're not going to bother with insurance.
I have heard that. Yeah. Or at least for their kid.
And their kid had to go to get checked out for something, and it was fine.
It was a reasonable amount. It was more than they would have paid with the copay, but it was still a reasonable amount.
And compared to what you might have gotten for a bill back in the U.S.
Oh, so much better.
Yeah. So
now, I always like to point out, of course, the salaries are different, so you can't always compare it to the U.S. because the context is different, but still it's better. Okay, so moving on to Zootopia.
Yes. So let's talk about how this all became a topic for us this week.
Okay. So first of all, I will mention that I know we're late to the party. Zootopia has been out since, I don't know, November. But it's still out here. And we like to find a movie that we can take T to. Mm-hmm. And so we were considering that, but he has been pretty sensitive about any movie with a bad guy or a bad person in it. He has not liked those, hasn't wanted to watch them. When he does watch them, can get kind of upset. However, he's been exposed to a fair amount in his aftercare, for better or for worse. And so he's getting a little more tolerant, open. So I'd heard really good things about Zootopia. You didn't even need to see the second one. Or sorry, go ahead.
The first one, yeah.
The first one.
That's the thing. So the one that's out in the theaters right now is Zootopia 2. And we had not seen the first one, but you had been told you don't need to see the first one in order to see the second one. Right. So we were like, okay, we'll go see the second one in the theater. But I don't know, what was it that kind of...
No, what it was is I think you actually had the idea. Well, why don't we watch the first one at home and make sure T likes it and is okay before we invest in the second one in the theater experience. So we did that. And he did like it. And we told him, if you don't like this, we won't go to that other one. You know, he is very motivated by wanting to see a movie in the theater. He likes the popcorn. He likes the experience. He likes being around other people. So I feel very similarly about movies in the theater. So I get it. But we watched it and he was like, okay, I want to see the second. He said, it's okay if we see the second one. So we watched the first one, but here's what you need to know. in Dubai and in the Middle East, it's called Zootropolis.
Yes. So yeah, don't look for Zootopia here. It is a different name.
Yeah.
And we were not expecting that because you were looking it up online.
Yeah.
And
I was like, where's Zootopia? Oh, wait, Zootropolis. This has to be the same thing, right? Right? Surely. Yeah. And so it turns out it is the same thing. It's the same movie. They do change it. When they say that word in the movie, they have changed it to Zootropolis. But the word is not said that often. So both Zootropolis 1 and Zootropolis 2. So anyway, we were like, okay, whatever. So why is this called that? So we researched it on the internet.
Yeah. So I found a BBC article that talked about why is it Zootopia in some places and Zootropolis in others. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently, so Disney Pixar, it is Pixar, right?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, anyway, they came out and said, this is about branding and so on and so forth. However, the BBC article said what probably is the issue is that there is a zoo in Denmark that had like a 50th anniversary celebration that they called Zootopia, and they trademarked the term Zootopia. So therefore in Europe it was like, can we actually use Zootopia? And I don't know, so they kind of were I think forced into changing the name, and so they came up with Zootropolis.
Which is a good name.
Which honestly, when you think about the movies, I mean, these movies are, it's a city where the animals are the inhabitants. And, I mean, that's the thing. It's the city. So Zootropolis is a term that means the city, whereas Zootopia is more like an ideal world. So does Zootropolis actually make more sense as a name of the movie than Zootopia?
This is such a typical Nick question. And first of all, Pixar had nothing to do with it, so it's all Disney. And second of all, I have both opinions on this. I can go either way, but I think the whole point of this movie is that they are trying to create a utopia, basically a Zootopia. So it also makes sense that way.
Yes. So you got predators and prey living together here in the city. So you can make a good argument in either direction.
Yep. But Zootropolis, the cosmopolitan cities, got everything, also fits. So we're really team both. I'm team both. But we do want to know what you are.
Yeah, so we're going to do our first poll.
No, it's our second poll.
It is?
Yeah.
What did we do before?
I don't remember, but I remember we did it. It was a long, long time ago.
I don't think we did it on Spotify.
Oh, you're right. This is our first one on Spotify.
It'll be the first one that is actually like embedded with the Spotify, which is the host of our podcast.
Yeah, so we'll do it on Spotify and we'll put it on Instagram.
Yeah, so we want to know, what do you think is a better name for the movie franchise? Do you think Zootopia is better, or do you think Zootropolis is better?
Yep. We want to hear from you. Okay, so we had a few just random etc.
Some quick hitters here.
Yes, quick hitters. First is about medium yolk eggs. Okay, super random, but I always love a medium yolk egg. And anytime we go out to brunch back in Seattle, or really anywhere that I've been in the country, the U.S., I always get a medium yolk egg if I'm getting eggs. And if I'm getting brunch, I'm always getting eggs. So, and it so rarely is a medium yolk. I'll say medium and it comes out runny almost every single time. It's so rare that it's the right way. And so just a comment, I had my first runny eggs this weekend because every other time, which is often, anytime we go out and to a breakfasty, brunchy time, I would get eggs. Every other time it's been a perfect medium yolk. So aside from this one place, Dubai does medium yolks very well.
So for all you listeners who are really, that's a very important thing for you. Dubai is your land.
Yes. Come to Dubai for your wonderful medium yolk. I apologize if it doesn't live up to its expectation. Okay. So moving on.
Yes.
Our favorite phrase.
Well,
every parent's favorite phrase.
So as you know, the whole phenomenon of 6'7", was a big deal there in the U.S.
and here,
it is a big deal here too. The kids are just as big on this as they are anywhere else.
You know, we heard it all the time over Halloween. I think we talked about it in our episode after Halloween, but you just kind of think it's going to end. It's not ending.
No, it is still. I mean, and this is the kindergarten class.
I mean, come on.
The kindergarten class is still going strong.
Yeah. Can we please never hear this again?
Well, one of the differences here is that you can get it in different languages. So, you know, I know one phrase in Arabic, and it's Sita Sabah.
Because our kids always saying it. Yeah. 6, 7, Sita Sabah. And we're like, oh, okay. Anyway, and he'll just do it. If somebody else does it, everyone's doing it. It's just suddenly everyone's doing it, and they think they're so funny. Anyway, the end on that topic. Last topic before we go into our weekly is birthday gift culture. And this is just an observation, not a judgment, not a problem, just an observation.
Yeah, just how it's a little different here than it is back in the States.
Yeah.
And well, I shouldn't say back in the States, back in our community, because the way that we did it is not necessarily the way everybody else is doing it, either in Seattle or in the country.
That's right.
But we're used to basically saying no need to bring gifts, no gifts, please.
Yeah.
And that's because, you know, our child has plenty of things. And we also know that we can't tell this to grandparents.
Right. So he does get gifts. And that's fine. We get him a couple gifts. The grandparents get him gifts. And we just leave it as a family thing. And we've really tried to help him know, like, celebrating your birthday with your friends is really about being together, about celebrating you. You don't need presents for that.
Yeah.
And I also understand that birthdays are huge for some people. At home, here, they're just huge, and gifts are part of that. And I totally get that. And they were a big deal for me when I was growing up. So I get it. We've just chosen not to do that. So there's a lot of birthday parties here. We've talked about it. They're big, huge events. And of course, you always bring a gift. And that's fine. We have managed that by buying loads of gifts early in the fall. And then putting them aside and then letting T pick one of these gifts for the friends.
Yes. Which has been very valuable, because there's been times when it's like there's no time. Like we decided at the last second to go to one, for example.
Right.
When we got a last minute, you know, the kid really wanted T to be there. Message. And it's like, okay, we'll find time.
So having a pile of gifts already set aside for T to choose from was very helpful for that.
It would have been really a tough time if we had to go out and get something in between going from the beach to the birthday party.
Yeah, that would have been challenging.
So yeah, having that stash has been useful.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the thing, is that there are, I mean, it's kind of a given that gifts are going to be a part of a birthday party here. Yeah. There's no bring gift, don't bring gift, anything like that. And then, you know, then that's it. I mean, you don't see the kids opening them. Yeah. They collect them at these various locations that host the birthday parties and put them in a box, and they just take that home.
And I've never been to a birthday party at home. We've been to birthday parties that had gifts, but I've never been to one where the gifts were opened.
I think so.
No.
You sure?
No. We've been to some where like maybe they opened a couple just because they were around, but not a formalized opening experience. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people are like, we don't want to make the emphasis about the gifts or compare gifts. We just want to, you know, be together. And I appreciate that. And it's the same thing here. It is the biggest difference, and you noticed, I hadn't even thought about it, but you were like, oh, you know, nobody does thank yous here.
Yeah, there's been no thank you notes,
which is fine, because I do not like writing thank you notes.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
You know, that's fine, and it doesn't bother us. It's just something that we notice, and that's just different, because in the States, it's sort of a given that if you're given a gift and you don't necessarily open it in front of the person,
There'll be a thank you text or a thank you note or something. I think usually for our kid, we make sure that he's thanking the people in person, like his grandparents or whatever, or we're sending a video of a thank you or something, because we do want to make sure people are getting the thank yous, but we don't always, we've never had him write a note. And that's really like, I had to write them growing up. So I'm sorry, Mom, you did train me better than this, but anyway, so we don't mind the no thank yous. It is just a different culture. Yeah. So we're just sharing that to explain differences, because it's one of those things that you notice and you're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. So moving on to our weekly
segment, our Excellents and Boguses of the week.
Okay, so do you want to go first?
All right, sure. So my excellent for this week, so I brought jeans with me here to Dubai.
You did.
I mean, we both did. But there's honestly not a lot of occasions to wear them because, denim is a, thicker, heavier material. And for me, it's just been too hot to ever wear jeans, to even think about wearing jeans.
Yeah.
Now, people do wear jeans here.
Yeah.
They are people who are more acclimated to the temperatures than me.
Yeah. And also I wear jeans because Friday is jeans day at work. I'm in an air-conditioned building. I've been wearing jeans for a long time.
But yeah, so I had my jeans. I did not wear them. I wore jeans back when we were in Seattle.
Yeah.
But had not worn them. But we came back to cooler temperatures.
Low 70s.
And we actually had a day that never got to 70.
Right.
Like the high was in the 60s. And I was like, I am breaking out jeans. And so I have actually now officially worn jeans in Dubai. It took 6 months. But I finally put on a pair of jeans.
The way you were delighted to be wearing your jeans, it was so funny.
Well, because I like my jeans.
It was adorable.
I enjoy them.
Yeah.
And, I took a long time to find a brand that really worked for me, that fit right.
And we were going to the cat park after work, and I was like, I need pants on. And you're still in your shorts. I'm like, jeez. Jeesh. But no, I mean, yeah, it was nice to bring out the cool clothes. And then you went and got...
Yeah, so I got some walking pants. I didn't have like any sweats or like trainer pants or anything like that. I don't know why. I really meant to bring something like that, but I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And so I have now. I do now.
Yeah.
I got some very, very cheap stuff, but it's still fine.
Yeah.
And so now I have a pair of sweats and a pair of basically kind of trainer type pants that I can go walking in.
Or you wore them to Gaelic practice on Sunday, which is good because it was quite cool. It was very breezy and we were cold. I was had my hood up over my head from my sweatshirt. And
that was important for the raindrops we got too.
Those raindrops were so short. Somebody said to me, it rained this weekend. I was like, I mean, okay.
But I mean, that was the first rain that we had experienced.
It's true.
It isn't the first rain Dubai's had since we moved.
Yeah, but
because they got actually downpours while we were in Seattle.
Yeah.
But that was the first evidence of rain that we had personally experienced.
Right. And then and you could see the drops on the windshield and how they dried over the dust.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, I can't, if we're ever going to get fined for a dirty car, it is today.
For some reason, Nick is refusing to use the windshield wiper on this dirty drops, but he's like, I'm going to see how long it lasts. Anyway, you are happy to be wearing pants. And having some pants you can wear. Jeans, and also having pants you can wear in lightweight conditions. Yeah. Okay, so
that was my excellent.
That's a good excellent.
Yeah. So how about you, Chelse? What's your Chelse, or what's your excellent for the week?
Okay, my excellent was tonight after dinner. Our kid got up and asked us to play I'm Still Standing, which his little drama class is doing as a performance for the parents' performance.
I'm Still Standing being
by
the
Elton
song
John.
by Elton John.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week, so I'm just mentioning it again. He asked if we could play it on the speaker, and then he did what he knew of, the dance routine. And I was like, oh my gosh, he already knows some of this, and it's not till the beginning of March. So we have a whole month more for him to keep learning this. I was loving it. He did so well. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but he knew some of the moves and he was so excited. And at the very end, he saw his sunglasses sitting on the table and pulled them and put them on for the rest of the dance. And we were like, and the sunglasses are kind of blue, which is like one of Elton John's sunglasses are kind of blue. Anyway, it was great.
Well, and what's really great is that, so he's had 3 of these theater classes now, and he is super enthusiastic about it. He wants to go to these,
and he already said he wants to sign up for the next round.
And so seeing him enjoying this has been a lot of fun. And for you in particular, I imagine
my theater loving heart is overjoyed. I also love watching him do sports, but I just love seeing my kid embrace all these different sides of himself. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so and you're bogus.
Okay, we're staying in pants. All of my excellent bogus of the week had to do with pants. So not only did I need to put on some long pants and jeans because of the temperatures, T has been, complaining a little bit about being cold. And so his school uniform is his red polo shirt and blue shorts.
Yeah.
His navy blue shorts.
Yeah.
And he's always been fine with that. But when he started complaining a little bit about being cold, I was like, well, we need to get him a pair of pants to be able to wear to school if it's just too cold to be going in shorts. Well, I went out and started looking at the stores to try to find, just a real basic cheap pair of basically navy blue khakis for him to be able to use at school. Wasn't even trying to be like perfect. If it wasn't right up to code of the school uniform, I wasn't going to bother me too much because we're probably only do it once or twice anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe because of the school uniform, stores and stuff like that, it is not easy to find the navy blue khaki pants at these stores.
Yeah, and the uniform pants are so expensive. You just really don't want to spend the money if you're only going to wear them twice.
Yeah, so that was the whole goal, is to find something that would be a reasonable facsimile for not too much. And you can find some clothes for kids that is reasonably cost.
Yeah.
But I looked all over MOE, meaning Mall of the Emirates, which is our nearest super mall. And, I wasn't finding anything that really worked.
That's such a bummer.
So that was a pretty frustrating experience, spending a whole lot of time and getting nowhere with that.
Yeah.
And then it turned out I came back home and found, actually, we do have a pair of pants that works perfect for this. Hadn't looked close enough at what we actually had. So I guess I'm glad that we didn't end up getting something because number one, we had something that is as good as anything we would have found.
Yeah.
It's like the exact navy blue.
Yeah.
And because I was looking, I brought a pair of his shorts with me on this trip to compare the navy blues, and none of them were really the same.
Okay.
But this one that we already had, the exact match. And the other reason why it's probably good that we didn't get anything is that he has decided he doesn't want to wear pants.
Yeah, right. I think that's the big one, because I think those pants, he'll probably never wear them. I also think they're quite short on him at this point. They're like mid-calf. so it'd be, some high water, some crop pants maybe. But it's fine.
We'll call them capris.
Capris. Yeah, like he won't want to wear them. He's been like, it's cold. Do you want to wear pants? No. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So just keep wearing your school hoodie, kiddo.
Yeah.
That'll keep you warm.
Yeah.
All right. So that was my bogus for the week. What about you?
Okay. So my bogus is the nighttime construction. It is making me freaking crazy.
Let me just say, this is the bogus.
It's
I
awful.
mean, it is the bogus of all boguses. It is, and it is not just us. It is everybody in this apartment building.
Yes. And I'm sure the villas that are the staging ground for this next apartment building. So, Nick posts updates on the construction project next door, because that's kind of interesting, seeing what's happening. But it's a whole new thing now that they're doing it in the middle of the night. They've apparently gotten approval to do middle of the night concrete laying, but they're also doing concrete making in the middle of the night. And that's banging and banging and banging. They yell at each other. And yeah, I mean, in our room, we are lucky because our room has a very loud AC fan. So the air conditioning fan blows crazy loud in our room. And therefore, we really do have it's like the biggest, it's such a loud white noise. It's really nice. And it blocks out most of that noise. We can still hear it, but we can fall asleep. T has woken up to this. He woke up to it at 4:45 recently.
Yeah,
because this is going on at 4:45.
Yeah, it is not just, pouring concrete. They were operating heavy machinery there at 4:45 in the morning.
Yeah, that my friend today was like, that is them making concrete. And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, we're submitting complaints and whatnot, but because they have approval, like there's not a lot we can do about it. It's been very frustrating.
Yeah. And they told us to call during the time that it's actually happening. Mm-hmm. So we can call at 10 o'clock at night because they are working at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And they'll send somebody down, but then they'll say this was approved. So there's nothing that's going to change, but this is going to go on for another year plus, and not looking forward to that.
Well, and we're not getting the worst of it. I mean, we're on the 9th floor. They're still down there working on like floor number 3. And I guess when you say we're on the 9th floor, we're really on the 12th floor.
Yeah, we will get the worst of it eventually.
Yes, but as of now, I mean, we know people who are getting it a lot worse than we are. Yeah,
my friend on the 1st floor said they're hearing it and they think it's awful, but it's not as bad as it is for people higher up because sound carries up. So, and I agree with that. I think that makes sense. Anyway, so that is my absolute 100% bogus.
Yeah. That'll probably continue to be the bogus for
week after week,
episode
after
after episode.
We'll be to 100th episode. Oh, speaking of episodes, we hit our 20th episode last week and we did not make a deal of it.
Well, I mean, technically, in my mind, yeah, it's labeled as episode 20 last week, but in my mind, today is really episode number 20 because one of the episodes was our 5-minute little update.
That's true.
Hey, we're still going. We haven't done it in a while. We got sick and then went back to Seattle and didn't have the time.
Right. So anyway, consider this our 20th episode celebration. Woohoo!
Yay!
All we're going to do is say yay. But we're proud of ourselves for getting this far. I think it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and especially given that, we're only, 6 months into this.
Yeah.
So we're not like we haven't officially kept at a week or every week, but we've been pretty close.
Pretty close, yeah. Yeah, so the question I have in my head is, how long will we have new things to say about Dubai?
Well, so far so good. I mean, 20 episodes I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder what people I know for anybody that's actually listening regularly, I wonder what else people would like to know about. So maybe next week, that'll be a poll.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good thinking.
Okay.
Speaking of polls, remember that we've got our polls for this episode about Zootopia versus Zootropolis. So make sure that whether you're on Spotify or Instagram, you get your poll vote in and, tell us why you think one is better than the other.
Yes. All right.
Well, I think that concludes our episode. So once again, everyone, be excellent to each other.
Have a great week, everyone.